Look at that building over there being built. This is Coco's apartment. I'm at 1201 Stafford. I'm sorry, 1201 Dudley. So Dudley's, D-U-L-L-E-S, in Stafford, Texas. I go around here walking around this here apartment complex, sometimes daily. I was here yesterday. One of the reasons why I'm making this video is that this is a huge building on the other side of that wall. It's called BAPS, B-A-P-S, something Asian Muslim place over here, some kind of church right there. My eyes see the word BAPS, B-A-P-S, as with the movie BAPS, Black American Princesses. That's what my eyes see. Now, they doing some kind of extension to this here building. What's troublesome, whatever it is. That's my little slur, Midwest kind of slur there. This here building yesterday was not this far in completion. The white walls was not there. The top railings were not there. And some of the railings all the way down to the top railings was not there. Some of them maybe partial, but it was open. The lining, the bar that goes across was not there. And for sure, again, the brick wall that they put in there, none of that was there. I say that because I'm usually out here, and sometimes I walk again in the evening time when it's dark out. There's never anybody working on this building, never. But every day I see progress. But yet there's never no one working on this building. How in the heck is that possible? Are y'all working at 1, 2, 3 in the morning when we are sleeping? Or is this some virtual stuff? Is this a virtual building coming up? There is never nobody. And then occasionally I may see 1 or 2 people from time to time. But there is never no one working on this build. Is this part of a virtual reality building that's there, that's coming up? Because these virtual buildings, they're just springing up all over the place overnight. And with this type of progress that they're making, you would think they would have about 1,000 people working on this here build daily. From time to time, like yesterday I saw 2 men over here working on this build. Look at this. Unbelievable. It's almost a whole city. That's almost a whole city. They done did about a month's worth of work since yesterday. A month's worth of work yesterday. And yet there's no noise, no building, no sounds, no people working. And they did about a month's worth of building progress. Now, I know of the virtual stuff, digital virtual world. I'm just wondering, is this a digital virtual project? Because surely, again, there are nobody working in this building, and they done made about a month's worth of progress. As with my daughter, now we only been here a year. As with my daughter, she said up the road, there's another project just like this coming. They almost done, probably bigger than this. And they're almost done also. She said when she got over here, Mom, that yard used to be filled with cows and herds and stuff. She said it's impossible for that to be like that. There was open land. It was like a rural area. It was cows and stuff over there. And now, look, they built this look like a city in less than a year, and yet you don't ever see nobody working over there either. You'll never see anybody working over there. But she said it is impossible. They building that too fast. She said when I moved here, it was like thousands of cows and different things over there. That was because this is Texas wind. She said that was kind of like a rural area. Somebody used it for farming, and now you can't even tell. There's no signs of farming, none. Almost, you got an In-N-Out hamburger place over there. You have just a lot of other stuff. Look more like city stuff, office spaces and stuff. So things are coming up entirely too fast, like that Dignity Hospital in Vegas. That came up overnight. All these things are coming, and yet there's no workers, and these things are coming up overnight with no workers. Something is seriously wrong with this picture. Is anybody else paying attention to this, or is it just me? Now, there was a few incidents too that also that's a little weird. Me and my daughter one day, we was driving in the car. We were like the second lane from the sidewalk. And then there were maybe 2 other lanes on the other side of us. I'm just gonna walk and talk as I hold this camera. And there was 2 other lanes on the side of us. Well, there was a big orange dog about to run into the streets from the right of us, which was the sidewalk. So that one lane was clear with no cars coming. So the dog was about to run in front of me and my daughter. And she couldn't stop. He just ran on out there. And I closed my eyes and I was just like, ah, like that. And I kind of felt a little bump. And my daughter, she couldn't close her eyes because she was driving. She looked in the rearview mirror. She don't see the dog. She pulls over. Mom. She terrified because she loves animals. Mom, she terrified. Mom. I hit the, she thought she hit the dog. And so we pulled over because she's thinking she's dragging this dog. So we pulled over. There was no dog there. There was no signs of the dog. Nobody else saw what we saw. Nobody saw what we saw. There was no blood. Remember, she looked in the rearview mirror. She didn't see the dog. We felt the bump. She didn't see the dog in the rearview mirror, so we pulled over because she knew she was dragging it, and I felt it too at the same time. But there was no dog, and nobody else witnessed the dog. So now y'all tell me what's happening here in America. So I do know about the reason for my lawsuit is for Barack Obama, his digital implementation. So basically what that digital implementation was that he did on me was kind of like blocked my natural visuals and replaced it with a virtual game, reality. So to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, go to the arcade and sit on one of those virtual reality game shows or whatever you call it, gaming. When you put those goggles on your face, or you can buy them nowadays, when you put them on your face, you can be in any scenery you want. You can have your own weather. You can be skiing in Hawaii. You can be anywhere you wish to be because it's just a fake reality. Well, now that I have Catherine or Abby Dental put this here installation in my tooth, the installation worked as the goggles. So now, instead, my goggles are permanently set because it comes from the chip and the device. So now my eyes are what you can consider I can be blindfold. Things can be taken right out of my peripheral and something else can be placed there in return. Like for instance, what's the lady name? Continental Beauty Salon in Vegas is closed to me. It's all closed up. It's a brand new place. New as in even in the construction. It was a new beauty salon. But when I go back there, because I've been there many times, but when I go back there in 19, it's shut down to me. But yet 3 of my friends tell me they work there. But my eyes see that it's closed. My brother said to me, I have him on tape saying it's also, he said the lawyer, because he had some police issues too, that's called blindfold. They blindfold him too. So he said, the lawyer gonna tell me to come to his building for an appointment. He said, but when I get there, the whole damn building is gone. There's that part right there. Another time, a friend of mine, Derek, and I, we were sitting on my front yard, and there was a cat that was there. And it was kind of in the evening, about 7 to 8, just get ready to get dark. And the cat was just looking at us and wouldn't budge. So we said, scoop, scoop, scoop. And the cat just wouldn't budge. It's just staying there. And so me and Derek, after we tried to scare this cat for a few bit, he would leave. The cat scared us. We left. Derek got in his car and drove home, which he only stayed a couple minutes away from me, just right up the street. He got in his car and he left, and it was just time for us. We was about to wrap it up anyways. And he got in his car and left, and then I went back in the house. When I went back in the house, Derek calls me and say, Girl, you wouldn't believe that cat followed me home. Is that part, okay? And so I'm gonna fast forward to some. I have 2 cousins staying with me, and while they was there, this cat comes by the house, keeps scratching on the door, and the girls, you know, they 15 years old, they feed them and playing with them. And so I said to them on a lunch break, I came home my lunch break to check on them. And I said to them, I said, no wonder the damn cat ain't leaving, because y'all keep feeding this cat. He gonna stay here. I said, when I get off of work, I'm calling the animal control truck. I'm calling the animal control truck. And I'm gonna have them to come and pick up this stray cat. Well, when I got to work, which is just, again, 2 minutes up the road, a block and a half. When I got back to work, the animal control truck was just sitting there at my shop already, as though they heard me. And so this kind of activity and behavior, this stuff was happening to me in the entire 14. Somebody wanted me to know something. And so this is a behavior. Like, for instance, I'm on a freeway, I see a truck that has a aquarium. You know, they clean out your aquariums, and I had a fish tank. I saw that truck while on the road. I was gonna try to hurry up and write the number down. Well, when I got back to work again that day, that aquarium was sitting on my business parking lot. The truck was sitting on my business parking lot. So it's all this here kind of stuff here. And getting back to this cat, when I did call the animal control people to come and pick it up, the lady said, well, make sure you put the cat in a kennel. We can only pick the cat up if it's in a kennel, she said. So I borrowed the kennel from the Miss Linda Barrero across the street from me. And we put, that's across the street from my house at 1451 on Water Creek, Linda Barrero. So I used one of her kennels to put this stray cat in there right before the people come to pick it up, the animal control people come to pick up this stray cat. How about y'all? So they picked the cat up now. If it's virtual, somebody really playing games with us, they having fun with this virtual shit. And so the animal control people picked up the cat. How about sometime later, I don't know if it's a week or two, sometime later, why that same cat come back around the house again? See, all of that is on Kissinger, Judge Kissinger in Nevada, District Court in Nevada. All of that is on that 14 complaint. This stuff here was not fucking supposed to have escalated. All that is on her complaint, and I'm not even near my complaint, but I can tell you every fact that I jotted down on that complaint. And so I put that on the complaint, and she said in her own words, she said that Samaya described what she believes is happening to her in extensive detail. That's her language for other people. She did describe this, y'all, in some great details. Y'all better, hey, watch her, because she knows what she's talking about. This stuff is happening. This is facts. But she used the word, she described this in extensive detail. So those are prima facie facts, which mean that according to the federal rules of evidence, I don't need proof that Barack was responsible for the digital implementation, or I don't need a application to show where the feds or illegally, they submitted this form to illegally spy in on me or selling my information. They spying on me, then selling the surveillance information to foreign people, including America's enemies. They selling all this here illegal surveillance to people worldwide, to include America's enemies. Maybe the feds are intentionally trying to excite a war or something on America's ground. I don't know. I don't know why would they be selling illegal surveillance to America's enemies and everybody else worldwide. That ain't making sense unless they trying to take over or something. I'm not sure. And so, but nevertheless, that cat showed up again at the house. So somebody wanted me to know that, Oh, let's go back to, so the Federal Rules of Evidence says that as long as these facts, I have these here facts to show that there is some type of illegal surveillance and somebody is using that illegal surveillance to try to come after me or to harass me and thought they were going to cause some mental harm. I don't necessarily need the paperwork to prove it, because facts are proven by facts, and that's what they said. Now, throughout all of this, another thing with this here digital implementation and this fake virtual stuff, twice the police officers has produced documents that were not true. They too are using that information to frame individuals. So basically what I'm saying is, I give you an example of two cases. One, this lady lied and said that I socked her in the eye, and because she has a big bruised eye, police came over there, they locked me up, told me they had to give a 12-hour hold on me because the girl had a big bruised eye, and they showed me a picture of her with a big bruised eye, knowing I never touched that girl. That part. Judge Hofengene of North Las Vegas in Nevada, he too denied me my due process rights. He too was working for all those who were out to try to cause me intentional homelessness. They wanted to take my house. Somebody jealous of my home wanted to take it for themselves and force me to live on the streets. Police officers just taking black people houses, and all their whites in America and the justice system are helping them just steal people's houses. Mind you, I worked all my life. White man ain't never did shit for me, ain't gave me shit, I ain't asked him for shit. Just because they can spy in on your life and they see they using that illegal surveillance to spy in on your life. Oh, this bitch doing too good around here. She got it going on. I want that. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So they separated me from my children, scared the shit out of my baby girl. She can't even look me in the eye or call me. She went off to school. Police officers started torturing her. She can't look me in my eye. She can't even call her mother because the police officers have tortured the fuck, raped her, beat her, and tortured the fuck out of her. And all the whites sitting there watching it and making movies. I can find about 10 movies to show that they all know. So this is the white man new sport now. Torturing niggas. Using illegal surveillance, torturing and framing niggas. I can prove that R. Kelly shouldn't be in jail. I can prove that Bill Cosby should not have taken that hit, that all them white women set his ass up. Now, I can prove it. Facts, I can prove it. This ain't no racial thing. Samaya loves everything and everybody. She loves everything and everybody. I can't help it because the whites are coming after me and protecting their own through the law. They are supposed to be listening, but they all say, take a break. We can turn the recordings off. We're not listening. Although I filed a motion now for them to listen, because that same device has an audio. It's called a NANA computer chip. I had computer classes in 1985, but this is a nano computer chip in my mouth. I didn't go back to get the cap put back on. I didn't do part 2 of my procedure when I went to go have that root canal, and they put a gadget in my mouth. It's still here, and that's not how you perform a root canal. They go in and they remove that tooth, cut them nerve findings, and put you a temporary tooth back on top of it. Well, in my case, they went in and installed an installation, a gadget here, and I didn't go back to put that tooth back on at Abbey Dental on Eastern in Las Vegas. I never went back to put that cap back on it. So you see pictures of me online with that gadget exposed. So all the judges are playing a part. They know this. They know this. It was proven in a court of law. Kissinger said in her own words, Samaya, I ruled in your favor. What do you want? They did sought to seek out to cause you mental harm. What do you want? That was in 14. Here it is now. She knowing firsthand, and my baby's been tortured ever since, if not even before. And now I don't even know where she is. I don't even know where my child is. I don't even know Kirsten knew firsthand. Now 14 to 22, my baby girl, we talking about the baby girl who was with me 24/7, who umbilical cord never been cut. White man could just snatch these motherfuckers out like they kids from roots or somewhere. And don't give a fuck. So I'm fighting for my child because I don't know where the fuck she's at. They know. Kiss just had on 14. No excuse. No fucking excuse. Every court ruled in my favor. So they know this. They know. But she's black. Who cares? They don't have no morals for black people. She could be high. They don't mind. They're treated like a dog, cat, rat. That don't bother them. They can sit there, watch a black baby girl be in a dog cage, fed like a dog, act like a dog, bark like a dog, and that don't bother them not one motherfucking bit. Only somebody who sees a disgrace and see it as an immoral act or moral individuals. So I'm starting to question, are y'all moral individuals or what? Because if you're not crying about what's happening to me and my babies, and we're innocent, we never broke a law, we never stole a grape out the grocery store, we ain't asked America for nothing, we never did nothing wrong, and we're just being targets because y'all want my shit. Y'all want my life. Y'all want my intellectual property. And so you just gonna torture the fuck out of us because you want my shit, my intellectual property. I never got a grant or nothing from them. I'm a hairdresser. I'm the best they come. So they reroute all my phone calls. They won't let me have jobs. I'll just get a sign and hang it up and work and let everybody know I'm back. But they didn't block me from doing that. They won't let me work. Getting back to that virtual stuff, so go to the arcade and sit on the computer or get one of those virtual goggles and put them on, and you'll see that you are in that scenery. But if somebody come by and pinch you on your butt or on your arm or your leg, you'll still feel that pinch even though you in that scenery. And if somebody in the real realm come by and pinch you on your arm or something, you still feel that pain. So if a person is being raped in the virtual world, being treated like a dog, being raped, repeatedly abused, tortured, beaten upside the head, shot, they still feel all that pain. All of that pain has been felt. But Blue, they said they the only ones with this type of device. That's what they doing, putting everybody in this here virtual world, and then just doing the worst crimes known to the world. When we get back into the real reality and take these goggles off, when they give me my natural visual back, and get me out of this here virtual world, this fake sun, all this here, see that look just like a old beam. See that? That's supposed to be the sun, y'all. But it's shining bright. Look, see that little green dot? That's supposed to be the sun. Let's see if I can get it again. That's the sun on the screen. It don't look like that. It don't look like that now to my natural eye. Oh, you see that? That's the sun. So this is what I'm dealing with. The law says that I don't need the judge. Judge, y'all can play dumb all you want. You can play deaf and dumb all you want to. But the law says I don't need y'all for you to restore my natural, absolute motherfucking rights back. These are rights endowed by the creator of the cosmos, and you can't take those or have them to include my children and the fruits of my motherfucking labor of my house. It ain't my fault you don't know what the fuck to do with y'all money. The law says I don't need your approval to get my property, absolute property rights back. I don't need your approval for that. So now, ever since they put me in this virtual world just so they can steal my child, whatever they doing, the house and the kid, they gonna take their little sweet time. That was 14, I filed a case of Kirsten. Gonna take a sweet little time and waste my life. I'm trying to get my ass done. I'm gonna get my butt lift, my boobs done, and all this stuff here done. So they want to wait till I get too old to get my butt lift, get my butt done, and all this old stuff because I got a lot of haters who don't want me to look good. So they're going to just sit here and waste my time. Now, this is an apartment that I'm living in with my daughter. Now, she is forced, maybe she is my daughter. She can be blindfolded to be somebody else one minute and to be my child the next minute. Because my eyes can be manipulated, so she could or could not. And I'm not saying that to scare her or anybody else, because she do look, act, and I believe that is her. But I'm saying in the virtual world, just like that dog was not there, and just like that cat was there, that wasn't a real cat, all this shit. But technology has found a way to manipulate your own visual. You may be looking at a white girl and thinking it's your child, and it may not be your child at all. And so this is what I'm going through all these years of doing hair and shit. I gotta go through all of this. Now, I stay under the radar. I don't know how these people know my name. I wasn't politically involved. I recently tried to get politically involved to see if I could get some help in that arena. So I am protected federally for a while, long before Kissinger case 2 in Nevada. So she know this case, but she's just sitting here monitoring. Now, that's 14. This is supposed to be 22, and that's 14. She's just sitting here monitoring the motherfucking case. Just monitoring this horrific situation. Just sitting here monitoring it. Monitoring my children being forced out of my life. Monitoring them. They just took my truck. Now, I got the house. I got the deed to my house and the title to my truck. They just took the truck. Just took it. White man don't give a fuck. Just take it. Blindfold the bitch and take her shit. And so all of them band together to help just take my shit. I got the title right here. I can show it to you. I got the deed right here. And everybody that knows somebody knows she worked 18, 20 hours every motherfucking day of her life. That I worked 7 days a week. They know this too, because they know me in Las Vegas. They know me personally. They know me personally. So there's no excuse for Kissinger. No excuse for Linda C. Anderson. No excuse for Judge Cam Fehrenbach. No excuse for Jennifer Dorsey. No excuse for Effingene. That's his name. Hoeffingene. There's no excuse for these three judges. There's no excuse for Gwen Cheney Bramo. No excuse for Roxanne McCoy. No excuse for Lawrence Weekly, Commissioner Lawrence Weekly. They know me on conversational level, hanging out, going clubbing level. No excuses for Ricky Barlow. No excuse for Stephen Horsford. No excuse for Carolyn Goodman, because it was told to me in 2003 that Carolyn Goodman wanted some sex, maybe because I refused it. She didn't tell me, somebody else told me. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it was told to me. So no excuse for Carolyn Goodman, who has my client of 10 years working right up under her. My client in the beauty shop, every week client for 10 years, Kathy Gibson, is now Carolyn Goodman's personal assistant. So there's no excuse for that. And Carolyn Goodman, Derek Carroll, Carolyn Goodman and I, we step out from time to time because she works with the parks, and now she's a personal assistant for Mayor Carolyn Goodman. So no excuses for these here. And I can go on and on. Hannah Brown knows me personally because Gwen and I were friends for 12 years. I eat at Gwen's house most times on Sundays. We go traveling together, her and her sister, the private investigator, Trina Giles. We went to Disney World together, her mom, all of us. No excuse. Gwen and I was more than friends. We were like sisters. We hung out every single day. That was no excuse, Barack. Gwen, Trina, and Kenny Red been lovers since 2003. They bought property together since 2003, Barack. No excuse, Barack and now Kenny Red. Everybody is wanting me to file some kind of case, is what they're saying, against Kenny Red, who's supposed to be a pimp for my child, which I don't have no facts on. It's hearsay. Hearsay say Barack and Kenny Red are lovers. Hearsay say that. And so hearsay say Kenny LaBaya was forced into prostitution by Kenny Red, who is the lover of Barack. And when Barack got in office, he wanted to do all these experiments on us, all of this here. He came in to genocide a whole family because Gwen and them added their name to my deed. My name is supposed to be attached to a huge inheritance, significant land, in which Gwen and Roxanne supposedly attached their names to my deed in 2004. Barack been in their family since 1990. He come in to supposedly to help them steal my inheritance. And so they've been friends since 90. So he was just a normal somebody before he became a president. And he was friends to just these normal somebodies who was planted in my life for 12 years to pretend to be my friend and then try to take that inheritance from me, put him in office to be president, and he gonna take the whole family down and they gonna steal the inheritance. And he gonna blindfold me. They gonna steal the inheritance with all the people in Las Vegas helping them. And so for some, Las Vegas is a very small city. And by me being on the commercials, now I am a motivational speaker there. I'm on television. I have my own radio show. I'm doing just too much in Las Vegas. So everybody in Las Vegas knows me due to the billboard sign, the truck, the rap U-Haul truck. Like I said, the ads in the Review Journal newspaper started in 2008. The news column that I had in the newspaper, Granny Says, I'm Granny. So through my news column. So I've been a journalist ever since, almost since I got to Las Vegas, but I can document since I got the email address set up. I wasn't always on computer or email. So I think I set that up maybe about 2006 or 7. So from 8 for sure. Documentation can prove that I was journaling on my own anyways. But I can actually go back to like 95, 96, maybe 97, mid-90s, because in the mid-90s, I worked for a communication company. In the mid-90s, I worked for Excel Communications. I got checks from them all the time. That can be verified. Excel Communications. They all know I'm an Eastern Star. Government supposed to be protecting me. They know this. They know this, but yet they want to come after my child. Barack want to use her for some brain initiative program, some Institute of Technology Science program. She's a biology major, but he give her some science honor degree. She don't have the motherfucking right to use mine for shit, especially without my consent or my knowledge. And so he contracted her when she was under 18. I have the proof. It's online. Go look online. You'll see the letter he wrote to my child. You'll see the letter that the House of Representatives wrote to her. The Senatorial Committee wrote to Lamaya. All those letters came when she was underage, under 18. They had no business working with my child on a motherfucking thing because she was mine. It was impossible for her to be a ward. I just moved to Las Vegas with guardianship papers. One of the reasons I moved to Las Vegas is I was just getting that divorce. And so when I got the divorce, I got full custody of Lamaya, So it was impossible for Lamaya to have been your ward. It was virtually impossible for you to claim, or police officers or feds. It was virtually impossible for y'all to claim Lamaya as a ward. And y'all jobs say y'all can't claim no kids for no ward, especially black children. But police officers, now black kids, all y'all souls are up for grabs. The police officers invented a new game where they just taking you as a ward on paper without your knowledge just because they want you and your babies. And now slavery has started over all over again. Slavery has started all over again. So all these police officers just grabbing kids. And they taking the best ones and sending them to the queen. And they just grabbing kids now, stealing kids. Whew. America. They just grabbing your babies and just taking them now. Because slavery now, they didn't open back up slavery again. So on paper, they doing all this fraudulent paperwork. Just claiming kids as a ward. How can they claim Lamaya as a ward when I just had spent thousands of dollars to one of their white attorneys who fought for me through that divorce? I can't represent it with an attorney. I didn't give that attorney none of my rights. Not one motherfucking right of mine did I give him. I paid him cash motherfucking money though. I didn't give him not one right. So I was just getting a divorce when I moved to Las Vegas. I was there a good year before the police officers and the feds started claiming her as a ward. And now my divorce degree say you got full 100% custody of your baby. They just gonna come in and claim her as a ward because they want her. And that's what they all are doing on paperwork. That's why the judges are sitting still and listening, because they are the ones sending people back in slavery through the ink pen. So the ink pen now, they are taking everybody, putting them back in slavery through the fucking ink pen. And that's why the judges are sitting still, because the ones that are sitting still, all their records need to be looked at too, and see how many black kids y'all done signed over into slavery. I'm curious of how many black kids Kissinger then signed into slavery. I'm curious as to how many black kids Magistrate Judge Cam Fehrenbach signed into slavery. I'm just curious. I think all those documents, and I asked the court, so this is something I motioned to the courts to investigate the entire 9th district. And that includes Hawaii, Las Vegas, and California, their entire judicial system, to see how many kids they done sold into slavery via that ink pen. I need to know. I need to know how many motherfucking kids that white man is taking and stealing them into slavery and then shipping them off to Europe. And they say they taking the best of the best. They taking the finer ones. They taking the best of the best kids and they shipping them to Europe and to the other white folks in Europe. Now they stealing souls are up for grab. They stealing all your kids' intellectual properties, and they selling them to foreigners. We are being sold over to slavery. Our intellectual properties are being sold into slavery to their foreign counterparts. And now here it is 7 years later. You done beaten and broke my daughter and put her in the dog kennel and fed her shit and dog food. I'm still fighting for her. She's scared to call her own mom. She can't even look her mom in the eye. She's scared to call her mom. Now she's a loner without any family, no family member, none. And she's a fucking loner in another state by herself, scared to call her mother because they gonna beat her again or fuck her and rape her again. White police officers fucking her daily and beating her daily. All these white police officers fucking her daily and beating the shit out of her daily, putting fear in her like none other. Why can't she come home? Why come I can't get my IRS tax? Why is the feds who claiming her blocking all my money? I paid into the system. I want every fucking dime back I paid into America. I demand my unemployment money. I paid into unemployment. I have employees. I paid their unemployment. I paid their benefits. I paid into Social Security as a entrepreneur. I'm not that hairdresser who didn't pay taxes. I had a payroll company, Pay Pros, who should have protected my business anyways. I had legal Lexington law firm who was on my auto payroll for about 7 years. They supposed to protect me in my credit report. I had my stuff patented, copywritten, and everything for years. I have a franchise attorney, Ben Bunker, in Las Vegas. I pay him a retainer for my franchise. How is it with all these here credentials? I had a CDC, a LLC, a INC, a CFC. How come is it with all these here credentials and some that the feds still can just kidnap my baby? These are federal crimes. These are federal people that are fucking federal. Now in the court in Missouri, I challenge all the feds. The feds in the court of Missouri technically was supposed to be standing trial, but Trump came in and he had a federal case in Florida. I'm sure it was a fake one. All that stuff needs to be investigated. He gonna try to get the feds a minor hit on a case in Florida for the shit that's in Missouri, but Missouri is a court that stands alone, and those are final orders that cannot be changed. That case stands alone. Them same feds, you just gonna have to take another hit because you can't be found guilty of capital crime, treason, and high crimes and treason in one case. Then your white person over in another state gonna give you a minor case over there for the double jeopardy. No, motherfucker, I believe this one came first. And it's a final order. It can't be changed. So you can go across the world, across the seas, across wherever. That one was a final order. You can't go and undo a final order. So now all of them are just still in cases. The judges know they playing dumb. Hillary was a criminal to one of my cases. There's no way in the world I should be sitting here in this here government prison. This not my fucking house. Now my baby is forced, the police officers forcing her, and the feds are forcing Lamaya to put me out of the house. She love her mama dearly. And she got to put her mom on the streets because the feds are forcing her to put me out. I don't have no business being in Texas. This is a federal state. Did y'all know Texas is a federal fucking state? The feds are holding me hostage in this year. Do you know these here apartment buildings are owned by government federal corporations? I don't have no motherfucking business being in they motherfucking facility in the first motherfucking place because I sued every last one of them biscuit eaters. Now I have a tracking device. The courts, I have a tracking device. The courts, the military, America, every last one of these judges know where I am at all times. Ain't no need for there was no reason for them to, their corona fake crowning shit, the fake Samaya, all of that is a blatant evil because we all come with VIN numbers to our chips, number one. Number two, I have tracking devices. Feds know that, pen, register, trap, and trace. That's what that is, and that's what they mean. Pen, register, and trap, and trace my ass probably, but it wasn't no excuse for me to be held without my, without a right to life, being deprived of my most basic fundamental rights. Look at this here. If I show you my shoes, let me show you my shoes. I can't even go no motherfucking way. I ain't had about nothing in I don't know how long. Look at these shoes. These are shoes I'm wearing daily. Goddamn, man. So I done went from making $500,000 a year to a nice home with a big swimming pool and 8 rooms and all this. They just took my shit because they want to come up, they fake somebody to try to steal that inheritance. And so they just took my stuff and got me a hostage on Avenue E. Avenue E means government, East government. And so the feds just got me here holding me motherfucking hostage. Now, you look at this your shoe. Look at this shoe. I can't even buy lipstick. They took my truck away from me. I got the title to it. I paid $1,000 for 6 motherfucking years on that Hummer truck. I overpaid about 2-3 motherfucking times, and they just take my shit for no reason. America. Look at me, look how I'm living. These are my shoes that I'm wearing daily. This is all I got. I got some pink ones, but I'm not gonna be wearing no pink with this shit, looking more hideous than what I'm already looking. And everybody watching it because all you gotta do is turn on TV because everybody using this here knowledge for movie scripts. They write movies. See, in 2013, Dr. Renee Starks sent them all a letter. The mayor, the governor in Nevada, a letter told them to cease and desist all of that deceptive trade, business, competitive shit, and nepotism, nepotism shit. She told them to cease all that. That Samaya is now a federal agent. That I have her as an executive head on my board, and that I am now protected by a paid bond for a federal agent. That through the courts, I am also an officer of the United States, but they still don't give a shit. They want Lamaya. They want that crowning. They want that queen, king shit, knowing that America can't even have no king and queen in America. But all of them start to take over the world. America and its police officers and its federal agents and its government employees and the judicial branch all got together and scheming to take over the world. Well, I'm going to give it to somebody outside of the world, perhaps Russia or another or somebody else, because it sits with me and I'm giving it away. So America, this is the problem. I have a substantial amount of land that I don't even know where the hell I got it from. It's just in my name. But I'm going to give it away if that's the problem. Bring my baby back, queen. I don't want her to be no queen. I don't want her to be no royal. I don't want her to do nothing, because what they're going to do is make the blacks the royals, put a hit on their life, and walk away with the legendary story. Because that's throughout history in America. That's all they do. Raise up Martin Luther King, kill him, talk about him, give him a street. Raise up Malcolm X, kill him, talk about him, give him a street. Raise up whomever. Raise him up, Oprah, talk about him, take him down. Raise up Bill Cosby, take him up, take him down. Raise up these Beyonce, take him up, take him. That's just the name of the game in white people. It's what they've been doing for centuries throughout America's history. I don't want my baby to be no motherfucking crown. Don't raise mine up to kill her. Bring her back. If you stole her intellectual property, I want her back. And the one that's supposed to be over there in Dallas, I want her back, America. My baby don't separate from me under no circumstances. Under no circumstances. I want her back. If Black did it, then I'm sorry for y'all. It's too bad. It all applies to the same. I want her back. I want my natural reality back, and I want my house back, and the fruits of my labor, and every dime that I invested in this fucking country. I want my unemployment benefits, that I'm not working, that you're blocking me from working. I want those Social Security benefits that you are blocking me from working. I want you hit me from the back intentionally. I filed a lawsuit against that insurance company, a Geico insurance company. It was $304 million. I want it back for your intentional motherfucking attempt on my life. I want the $304 million back. That was an attempted murder case that you remotely controlled somebody to run into the back of me. I want it back. I filed my taxes. I worked the entire 2020. I filed taxes for 19 and 20. I got a refund of 50-some thousand for each year. I filed them. I'm still waiting on those. The feds are holding those. I want them back. I sued that straw person name 2020. I separate my properties from America. So whatever I had before this case, because that was a slick idea to there, chase me to the law, fuck with her, and then when you tie her to the law, steal her shit through that case. But I did a separation of property, America. So whatever I did in the law, it sits on one side, and my shit that I had before I did the law, it still sits on my side. I want my stuff back, America. Y'all can hem up this shit indefinitely if you want to, but you don't have the right to come after me and my child by pushing me to the law when I kept trying to get out of here, out of the law. When I wrote all of y'all before I went to the law. You said you couldn't help me, but it seemed like that was part of their plan, was to chase me to the law and then try to take their case. And now they got fucked in the game because I did separation of property. I did an identity theft. So if anybody parading around town, got some queen talking about they Samaya, you can't take that name or that look, because I did identity theft for my daughters, my brother John, as well as myself. You know, the house was verified. Still to this day, the house is Samaya's. And then if the law was gonna take it for whatever reason, they supposed to let you know where your furniture and stuff is, why we taking it, or woo-de-woo. So I want you to look at it from this here perspective. Say you go to the grocery store or you go on a vacation. You come back home, all your shit has been gutted out. That's what they want me to think has happened to my stuff. I went there, that's what my eyes see. For no apparent reason. And then the police officer just tell you, don't go by that house no more, it ain't yours. But yet, I go to the Department of the Treasurer, I talk to the county recorder, and then to the Department of Treasury. Everything say the house still yours, but the police officer threatened me and told me don't go by there no more. So I'm obedient because I don't need him arresting me for nothing. So now I'm obedient. So I don't go by the house. But I did ask code enforcement send me a letter, say they investigate since 19. How long you gonna investigate code enforcement? You sent me a response back and gave me a claims number. How long y'all was gonna investigate? The rest of my life? Or until Coco put me out on the streets? Ooh, America. So these police officers got out of hand, and these here judges, all these judges have shown themselves to be very racist and a part of it, because under Amity law, it states that your silence committed the worst crime. Because America told the judges that the recording studio is to still just plug up your ears. Well, I'm here to tell y'all that your silence, you plugging up your ears, was the worst crime committed, because all of this here unnecessary stuff that happened after the fact, and everybody that was harmed after the fact, everybody on planet Earth that ever had any kind of illness, catastrophe, or anything that happened to them is a result of October 13, 1965. The world literally is surrounded, or the world literally evolves around 10/13/65. So if you could take it all the way back and just start over anew or fresh from 10/13/65, the world probably would have been heavenly by itself already, because all of these here crimes wouldn't have happened. Katrina would never happen. All these hurricanes and tornado storms, none of it would have happened. None of it. White man, I'm sorry, y'all. Excuse my French. Y'all white folks in power done fuck this world up. And now everybody watching. Everybody know that illnesses are fake. Everybody watching all this virtual stuff. Now, all I ask them at all times, my baby don't belong to the feds. She's not a ward of Barack. She's not a ward of white man. She's not a ward of police, Gwen, or nobody else. All I ask y'all to do, I sued the entire planet, and for sure every law enforcement agency in America, including police officers. Why is it that they still holding my child hostage? Why is she staying with anybody? Why is she in their apartment buildings? Why is she staying with them? When I sued all them, why is she staying in their housing? This is their housing too that they have me here stuck in. This is government housing. This is the police officer housing that they have me stuck in. I own a home. I wouldn't live in this. I don't live in apartment buildings. All these people in this apartment building, they are just here. They're just plants. These are just plants in this apartment building for whatever reason, to deceive the weather, to, like I say, that building over there, nobody never builds it, but every morning I wake up, it's almost done. That part to also kind of confuse you at the time of the year. When I got here in June, they was putting up Christmas stuff in the stores, but around here it's 100-degree weather and it's summertime. They getting ready for the 4th of July in this here apartment, but the stores are getting ready for Christmas. I got the video and I show you in June, them putting up all this Christmas stuff in June. I have it on video. So when I tell you something, you can best believe I can back it up. So these people here are just some hand-picked individuals. So when the government get ready to try to frame you of a crime, they'll have them here to lie and say whatever. So these are all undercover government aides, people that they're hand-picking. One girl lived here. She was talking about, she was reading this book, Sierra. She's reading a book about how the sister had to kill the other sister. And I'm just wondering, hey, if that's what you're trying to do to Tinkerbell, to Coco, because my baby was in the hospital without my knowledge. I have no knowledge of it. And so my family is supposed to know about my daughter being in the hospital without my knowledge. Maybe they beat her up, gave her surgery without my knowledge. And I'm still trying to find out why they holding me here. So a lot is going on with her that I don't know anything about. But right now, I don't want to worry too much about her because I don't want to put no stress on me. I'm just trying to worry about property laws because she comes back anyways on property laws. And they had her in some mental facility. So she comes back home anyway on property law. I don't want to put the emphasis on her because the people that intentionally forced her to whatever it is, caused her to be whatever way, they do this now in America, forcing kids to be homeless or beaten or tortured. Then they come behind them because they claim them on paper. Let me slow it down a little bit so you can understand this part here. Being that now the judges are approving, not that this is right, because they can go to jail too, but being that all of them are kidnapping people on paper and claiming them on paper, what they'll do, let's say we got person A was kidnapped on paper by person B. Person B, beat her, hang her, torture, do whatever. And then on paper, person B behind the scenes is going to file that case under alias name for their property. They claiming personal A. They want to file the case for personal A under alias name. Then person B gets all the money because they own personal A on paper. And the judges are allowing all this here to happen. So they all just found a way to rob the system with the help of the judges, because none of this can happen without the judges. So they all have found a way to rob the country with the help of the judges. Just so the judges just sign their name to anything. They don't give a shit. Everybody just figured out how to do insurance fraud and how to take fake accident fraud money and civil suits with the help of the judges. Now, I was talking to a young man over there a few months ago. I think they had him to move from over here. Every time I meet somebody, they move. Sierra, we're talking to her, she had to move. And this guy, he said his name was Calvin Pierre. His name is Calvin. I said, your last name? He said Pierre. Calvin, in the past, what they use, that name Calvin, when they've been harassing me in the past from 15 up into present. Calvin mean crazy, only because I have a family member that's in a mental institution. His name is Calvin. So every time they use that word Calvin, they mean crazy. And so then Pierre, his name, what's your last name? He said Pierre. He was just moved up here. We was just talking. I thought it was kind of strange because Pierre is the brother to Gwendolyn Chaney, who was murdered in 2006 for government purposes. And so if you go on my Facebook page, you'll see that my daughter sent me a text message. And she says, Mom, I'm staying with some guy named, she said a guy. I'm staying with a guy named Clifford Pierre. And Pierre's their brother who was clipped, government clipped him for whatever reason. I'm staying with a guy named Clifford Pierre, who is a neurosurgeon. That's what makes me think about the hospital. Who's a neurosurgeon where she's staying now. This was during the time my daughter should have been in Illinois, in Carbondale, Illinois, in school, but she was maybe scared for her life and said she's staying with a guy named Clifford Pierre, who's also sits on the DNC board with the Cheney's father, James Chaney, who also a member of the DNC board. And she was telling me, she said with somebody named Clifford Pierre, they threatened her with his apartment number. His apartment number is 1306. My business number address is 1306 West Craig. And 1306 is her only two family members. Her mother's birthday is on the 13th, and her sister, her only sibling, is on 06. And so this is how you know this is government stuff, that they ain't got my baby involved in all this your government torture shit, bullshit. And mind you, they sent me a letter say, Merry Christmas, welcome to the CIA torture department for 2014. So all the white people know that I'm being tortured by the government. They know this. I done proved this time and time again. They know this, but they still continue to sit there and watch my baby being tortured like she's a dog. They treat her like she's a dog, but they want me to file that case. Even though I know all this, can't nobody never, ever, ever, ever bring this suit up in case for my child. I'm suing them on my property rights, and I want her back home. I say that because if they should succeed with killing me, then whoever, I think Barack was claiming her as a ward, or the Cheneys or black police officers are trying to claim her as a ward on paper. I need to know who's claiming her on a ward on paper. Then I get down to the bottom of who's torturing her, who's trying to kill her for claiming her as a ward on paper. That's trying to take that money when they murder her, if they succeed at murdering her. I need to know which one of y'all are claiming Lamaya as a ward. I asked the judges, and the judges again, the white judges, I pray according to the federal rules of evidence, any judge on any part of the world can investigate this case before, after, or during the trial. So I'm trying to find out now who's claiming Lamaya on ward. So right now, at this moment, as me being a recording studio, I'm asking for anybody on planet Earth, and you don't have to be a judge. According to 50 United States Codes 1806, it says that anybody who wishes to help me before, after, or during the trial can get all that information that they need to help me. Be it Africa, Cuba, or whomever, they can help me. So I don't necessarily need American white judges to stop your ears up. Anybody can help me. Because it's digital implementation. I have the brief. I have the surveillance brief where they told them not to do it. This is unconstitutional. But they did it anyways. They illegally spied on me anyways when they were told not to. Nobody gave them the clearance to do it in Congress. Oh, I don't know about Congress, but on the people that represent the people without my knowledge, because I didn't know nothing about this at the time. I found this foreign surveillance brief after my case went in motion. Because you got to remember, even if I found it before then, I wouldn't have had no reason to look for it first. And even if I found it before then, I wouldn't have understood the lingo, because I am just learning a lot of this information. But I do have it now, that foreign intelligence brief that told them they were wrong and they was not supposed to do it. And yet, because they having so much fun with me, the judge is letting them have so much fun, spying them on my life, making movies and raping my child, selling those eggs. They raping her because they are now selling eggs. The judge is knowing about all of this because they too are part of it. They doing the same thing too. They are doing the exact same thing the criminals are doing. And that's why the criminals are getting away with it, because the judges are doing. So therefore, can't nobody tell on nobody. Everybody just purging. And can't nobody tell on nobody, because the judges are doing the worst crimes. But anyways, I can go on and on. And it has been like 59 minutes, and I'm going to stop here because sometimes I could be long-winded. I want to share as much information with you guys as possible. At my last I want to end with this here video saying that I don't approve of anyone on Lamaya on paper. Lamaya Danae Hodges. I am her mother, her guardian, her power of attorney, her power, in fact, and her everything. That no one should never, for as long as civilization, ever bring a case to court in no alias name or no other name in relation to her and this here case matter. What they do is they remove the H because the H is silent, or they remove the hyphen because, and then replace the hyphen and merge the letters together. All this whole stupid stuff that they doing in court, or petty elementary stuff they doing. They may leave out the middle name and add a middle name. And to each one of those cases, when they do little stuff like that, that become a different entity. So I'm saying to none of them, due to that identity theft, they can't do absolutely none of them in relations to that person, her straw person, or anything else. I don't care how you spell her name. Her name wasn't in the system because both of my baby names are encrypted. So it's impossible to be in your government system, number one. So I don't care under what case you filed it, what name you gave her. One time I saw they call LaMay Ellis, M-L-A-M-A-Y Ellis, E-L-I-S-E, married a Barry Brandon. One time they changed her name, knowing now. I walked that identity theft form into the office and they stamped it. So the feds supposed to be doing an identity check long time ago in 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It was impossible for her to travel out of it was impossible for her not to be with me. It was impossible for her to travel out of the country. It's impossible for a lot of things with that. She has all these here. Yeah. Now, I only say that because I don't want, if I decide to bring something up, that's on me. I may not, but nobody else can. So let me rephrase that. Nobody else can, because I don't want them to be, the feds are claiming her, black feds are claiming her on paper. They want to kill her, and then they take the money. So that's the game that the judicial branch of Congress is playing. That is the game. So as of today, I'm still just trying to get funds that is already mine, that the feds are holding. The police and Congress are holding money that's already mine, and they are preventing me from a quality of life. So every day I just sit here. As you see, I don't even have a decent pair of shoes to wear. So every day I just sit here and wait on them to give me my funds. Quit fucking with my bank account. Only the feds can do that. Only the feds can withhold my IRS checks. Only the feds can withhold my unemployment. So every day I'm waiting on white man to quit fucking with my income, and I'm waiting on the blacks to also do the same.